I'm Victor Moyo, and this is my Anthropology of Globalization via art assignment. Now, to start, the anthropological theme that I chose for this assignment was religion. Now, I chose the anthropological theme of religion because the theme of religion is one that holds relevance within globalization and many places around the world, and it really is what helps so, places within society or cultures within society form their moral systems and allows individual opportunity for people within society to believe in something while also helping people understand the things that are happening around them in a spiritual sense. I also chose religion to be my anthropological theme because religion seems to be one of those social institutions where people within society are willing to defend it and also go into conflicts for the sake of religion, often politicizing it. Now, although I chose religion to be my anthropological theme, there were a couple other themes that I was actually willing to write about that I found very interesting, like gender, ethnicity, race, sexuality. These are all anthropological themes that have shifted within the years with the constant change of globalization. Now, outside of the conflict of choosing an anthropological theme to discuss, I found that a lot of the anthropological themes actually coincide with religion. This was very interesting because when you see something like, for instance, like gender, it is actually influenced quite heavily by religion, and that kind of determines how to a certain extent, how a gender role was given. For instance, the Bible says, "Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness." And also in Timothy 2:1-2, the Bible says, "I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man, rather she is to remain quiet." Now, verses like these, I think, help establish the idea that religion often goes hand in hand with establishing gender roles within society. And with this revelation being made, I think that gender could also play a big role in how a religion is formed. Ultimately, I believe that anthropological themes like these have the potential to affect each other in the exact same way. It just depends on the state of society at the time and how it values these certain aspects of anthropology. Now, how I came to conclusions like these are primarily through reading or Googling sources that talk about religious verses, and also looking up a article by the PEW Research Center, which basically had an article that talked about how amongst most religious clergies, men are primarily the only members of these clergies. It says that this is due to biblical law, and but it really just looks like it's a product of a patriarchal institution. But like I said, all the anthropological themes seem to have this form of cohesion where they are like very interchangeable in how they affect each other. So yeah, this is pretty much how I came to that conclusion, through reading articles and looking through different biblical verses, because I primarily focused when I started on gender and religion. So yeah. Now, the art form I chose for this assignment was a video analysis talking about, well, religion. I decided to do this because I believe that it's actually the best way for me to converse about the topic of religion, and you can touch a lot more topics with a lot more cohesion when it's done in a video format. Now, outside of efficiency, I also feel like due to my history and the fact that when I was younger I used to really enjoy editing videos. I feel like providing context in this way will be a more enjoyable experience while also, allowing me to jump from topic to topic without fear of messing up because I, as a individual, have grown to trust this form of medium. Now, when I was making this video, I did actually find it to be a little difficult. With the video analysis, using things like sources was often a bit of a drag because communicating verbatim what you used within sources while also trying to remain on topic, I found that to be really hard, especially in a setting where you're continuously talking and trying to give context over why something is important. So yeah, that was just something that an issue that I found myself having. Another problem that I found myself having with the medium that I chose was the software. The video software that I ended up using was After Effects, which is a editing software, but the thing about After Effects is that it only loads files in AVIs, which are really big files, so it actually had to export for about an hour, which is something that I am actually going to do differently with this video analysis. I'm going to be using Movie Maker, but it is just something that I had to keep in mind, and it became a problem for me. Now, within the assignment, I used various sources, like I mentioned earlier. I used, outside of the PW Research Center article, I also used the Globalization, a very short introduction by Manfred Sturger, a book that we actually revised in class. This was actually very helpful for me in terms of developing my understanding of religion, because I especially used the portions where he talked about how globalization's effects on the anthropological theme of religion have changed society, like with population and the death of certain religions. So yeah, I found that interesting. I also used heritage.org, a website. Basically, what it talked about was why religion was important, kind of like solidifying my ideas of the moral aspects, really pushing home the influence of religion within society. Um, you know, talking about things like suicide and drug abuse and crime all being scorned by religion. Thus, it really just solidified my idea that religion plays a fundamental part in building a society, or at least the moral aspects of a society. But ultimately, these sources just helped me solidify the idea that globalization changes the importance of religion within portions or sections of society. For instance, in the book American Horizons, when the conquistadors came over to America and forced the Native Americans to change their religion, religion wasn't used as a form of simple faith, but as a form of political influence. By forcing everybody to have the same religion, they would be gaining more power and influence over that area. So, due to globalization, religion has actually become more of a political aspect than a spiritual one. And this dramatic change in the functionality of religion within society is primarily due to the fact that with the development of globalization, more and more countries with different cultures are becoming more and more prominent. And because of this, each one of them is constantly fighting for influence. And one of the easiest ways to display your influence is to have a large amount of people who believe what you do, hence religion. And this is prevalent throughout multiple times in history, whether it's the Holy Roman Empire or the Americans coming to colonize America. Either way, influence and power are often determined by how many people you have on your side, and the easiest way to assimilate certain or other cultures is by forcing yours onto them. Ultimately, due to the politicizing of religion, religion has lost its spiritual meaning to an extent due to globalization. The way that I decided to highlight the shift within my theme, religion, was primarily by establishing the idea that there are positives and negatives to the effects of globalization on religion. I did this because although globalization has had negative effects on religion, like helping it lose its spiritual meaning, it also has positive ones as well. For instance, due to globalization occurring, religion has actually been able to spread to different parts of the world. Different religions now are able to be followed by people who, prior to globalization, didn't have the opportunity to partake in said religion. So it was positive aspects like that that helped me play devil's advocate and decide to basically balance the scales a little bit and talk about how globalization is both bad and good for religion. Through my research of the topic of religion, I've come to the conclusion that religion as a topic or as a concept and anthropological theme functions in a way that allows for moral understanding as well as a purpose in life for individuals who choose to follow within it. I also came to realize that society's reliance on religion is due to the beliefs that are held within the religion, and those are what give them power. The class helped me visualize my anthropological theme, primarily due to the fact that we were constantly asked to understand these topics from various different angles. With globalization and like how they affect society, we were constantly questioning the functionality of things like religion. So that really helped me visualize what religion is, as well as get a sense of feeling for the effects of the anthropological theme of religion. Now, as I was going through the themes of religion, I came to the conclusion that globalization has the potential to determine how religion is perceived within society, because religion is only as effective as the beliefs that are prevalent at the time. And with globalization changing, people's beliefs are constantly changing as well, due to them encountering people from all over the world who have different beliefs. So the idea of religion is constantly at risk within a society because of globalization. Now, globalization has also changed my idea of what the purpose of religion within society actually is. Now I'm forced to look at religion as, instead of a definitive force within cultures and society, as a building block that is primarily used to develop the beliefs of the people whose cultures they affect. Now, globalization and how it's affected religion has really changed my perspective on how I view religion. I used to view religion as a anthropologic concept that is, unchangeable in terms of its role within a culture, but now I see that it is actually a little bit more fickle than that. You see, because globalization continues to progress, religion will always be in competition with the beliefs that globalization brings to other individuals. Ideas that were prevalent within past believers are subject to change due to the fact that people of all different faiths and all different walks of life are now coming together, communicating their different beliefs due to globalization. This will lead to people changing their minds and their beliefs, which will ultimately just change the functionality of religion within society. Now, within my researching of the anthropological theme of religion, I came to understand that I, as a person, was very dependent on religion as a concept and wasn't really able to see the negatives to religion. I also learned that the different aspects of anthropology within society are always subject to change due to globalization, due to people having different beliefs and culture always progressing due to globalization. I believe that one way that you could use anthropology outside of school is using it as a way of assessing reality or society, you know? Using anthropology to judge things based on the anthropological aspects of society and also further your understanding of the world around you. Ultimately, this was my video analysis, so bye.